From Three's Company to Friends, roommates split the light bill, divide the chores, and figure out who left the empty milk carton in the fridge. It works great in sitcoms and our single years, but when that same energy creeps into a marriage or long-term relationship, something important goes missing. Our next guest wants to warn us about roommate syndrome and shows us ways to repair our relationships before the spark goes out. Anna Elton is a marriage and family therapist and the author of The Formula of Desire. It's good to have you, Anna. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so Anna, first off, walk us through how roommate syndrome actually develops, because two people love each other, they're committed, and then somehow the romance gets replaced by a shared calendar. So what's happening beneath the surface?
So there's a couple of things. So when partners become roommates, they can manage households well, but they don't connect anymore. So one thing that goes missing is communication. So when we think about like how is it possible, we always talk, we always communicate. But I talk about so there's this social penetration theory that was developed in 1970s, and the idea was the peeling the onion, right? So think about the different layers. So when we meet someone, we tend to connect with them and start sharing more and more intimate details. Start with our dislikes, and then we go into our fears, our dreams, aspirations, and we go all the way to the core of that onion. And then what happens to long-term relationships, we actually revert back to the outer layer of that onion, right? So, and our communication becomes more about logistics. So what I hear from my couples that I work with, that my coworkers know me better than my spouse. So that's one thing. Another thing that happens, that we stop touching each other. And the biggest one, we stop flirting with each other.
And to that point, so for many couples, a regular date night is the go-to for having time together. Is that enough, though?
Well, it's always nice, right? It's always nice to have that dedicated time with your partner. But what I always say, we need to create the micro moments and micro connections through the day. You can, come up with the 3-touch rule. You can try to touch each other 3 times a day, right? Or the rule of 3 connections. So you can say hi when you come back home from work. You can give each other a hug, or you can say like, "Hey, how have you been doing? I haven't talked to you in the whole day."
I like that. I mean, those are some of those rituals that help couples feel connected. How else can couples stay connected when they're juggling, they've got kids, they've got work, and a busy household?
So I would say you definitely need to be more intentional about that time together, because when a lot of things going on, when you have young kids, when you need to do the chores, when you need to do your work, you don't have a lot of time. But in reality, we have time, right? Think about the evenings when we spend together, or not really together. We're next to each other, but we can be on our phones scrolling. So maybe allocate that time, 10 minutes, to just checking in, cuddling, doing something as a couple. I also say be intentional with your date nights. Try to put it on your schedule, because if you say like, we'll go out at some point, it usually never happens. Life happens, dates don't happen. So you need to be more intentional with that as well.
Alrighty, and then flirting and affection work best as habits, as you mentioned, not just special occasions. So what does that look like in everyday life when we're being affectionate every day?
So I would say start with hugs. From research perspective, 20-second hug triggers brain to release oxytocin. It's love and bonding hormone that helps us to feel happier, more connected with our partners. It also helps with stress. So definitely helps. Same thing happens when you kiss your partner for longer than 6 seconds. So a little make-out session. And also just like touching each other through the day. Again, simple touches as you go by. Say like, "Hey, how are you?" From sports psychologists, we learned that teams who play better together, more in team, they touch each other through the game. So just touching your partner helps you to feel more connected with them.
And for couples who feel like, oh, we lost that spark, is it possible to rebuild it? And where should they start?
Absolutely. So what happens with couples in long-term relationships? They need to start recreating the conditions that help them to have that spark early on. But more more than anything, they need to bring a novelty into their relationship. So I always say, start with A through Z date nights. So it's a fun exercise. Take the alphabet, all the letters, and think of different things that you can do as a couple. A could be axe throwing, arcade night, art gallery. B could be bowling, beach walk, burlesque. M is my favorite. So it's movie and massage.
Mm.
I pick movie, I get a massage. My husband picks a movie, I get a massage. Absolutely
There we
favorite.
go. That's a win-win situation. Anna, I love these cute and creative ways that couples can rebuild and find that spark again. Thank you so much for your tips, and I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more information. You can find out more by heading to annaelton.com.